y'all got us all the way up. We met that dude, Duke the jeweler, the night before. He was down. The next day, dude followed us to the concert. When we left out the concert, we under the garage. Dude went to his car by himself and walked down to the parking lot. That's when somebody tried to kill him.
He's the one that's tied to the dude that makes the loaded dice. Right? Check the play out. All entertainers, when you go to Houston, stay away from State Prince Jr. The whole play going on. Here go the play right here. The play is a loaded dice.
Velvet table, blood red dice, and smiles that didn't match the eyes. Behind the laughter, something dark was already in motion. Duke the jeweler didn't just step into danger, he was surrounded by it. He wasn't some broke hustler chasing quick cash. He was a Chicago legend, self-made, respected, and dripping in success. But in a room full of sharks, that didn't matter. Someone had already decided how the night would end. This wasn't a random hit. No ski mask, no getaway car, no back alley ambush. Duke walked out of Boosie's dice game with people grinning like Friendsla kind of grins that hide sharp intentions. One minute they were dapping him up, the next they were giving off signals you can't fake. The kind of signals the feds are now watching like hawks. And right in the middle of the noise, 50 Cent dropping cryptic posts, sharing receipts, and hinting this might be a setup far bigger than anyone thought. Here's where it gets cold. Just 2 weeks before Takeoff's death at another dice game, Duke was front and center at a Mob Ties event hosted by J. Prince Jr. And if you've ever been at a table where the wrong person starts winning, you know the vibe changes fast. Smiles disappear, eyes lock. The air gets heavy. Now, Boosie, J. Prince Jr., Lil Cam, the whole circle is under a microscope. What once sounded like street gossip is starting to look like the blueprint for a full-blown investigation. So, was this just bad luck at the wrong table? Or was the game already fixed before Duke even rolled his first dice? Duke wasn't out here tossing diamond chains to up-and-coming rappers for clout. He was designing custom pieces for major industry names players with real weight. He had a brand, a reputation, and a duffel bag worth $1 million in ice. When he landed in Houston, it wasn't for the skyline. Word is, Boosie personally invited him for business something custom, something exclusive. Duke showed up ready to work. What he didn't know, this trip might be his last. Here's where it gets deep. Leaked audio tied to WAC 100 straight from street-level sources claims this wasn't just a friendly game. It was a setup disguised as a celebration. J. Prince Jr.'s name is now being linked to what insiders are calling a loaded dice ring. The same names keep coming up: Lil Cam, Big Capri, Wolf, a tight crew who rotate the dice like it's a ritual. The odds are always stacked unless someone slips, and that's exactly what happened. WAC says Duke spotted the switch. He rolled past the traps and started stacking hundreds, then thousands, and he didn't slow down. But when you beat a system that's built to keep outsiders losing, the people running it start to sweat. And when that happens, the vibe changes fast. What happened next turned the night from luxury to straight chaos. According to insiders, J. Prince Jr. allegedly pockets around 30% of the pot on dice nights. So when Duke started racking up win after win, it wasn't just a hot streak, it was cutting into someone's paycheck. And the way Duke carried himself that night. Loud, confident, iced out, he was drenched in diamonds, tossing cash like it was Monopoly money, and filming every move for the gram. Then, things got strange. If you slow the footage from that night, one moment jumps out. Boosie lets out a low whistle, nothing dramatic, but enough to make his nephew turn immediately. Eyes locked on Duke. A man in a red hoodie casually taps the nephew's arm, almost like passing a silent message. From that second on, the energy shifts. Duke's still smiling, still laughing, still tossing dice, but the air feels heavier. Smiles fade into blank stares. The room gets cold. Minutes later, everything changes. And this wasn't just paranoia, it was in the body language. When you're in a room where decisions have already been made, in whispers, your instincts pick it up before your mind catches on. Here's the real question. Why would Boosie, a millionaire, invite a guest draped in over $1 million worth of jewelry to a dice game with unpredictable energy and no visible security. And why didn't J. Prince Jr. ensure any protection for someone clearly out of town and carrying that much heat? None of it tracks. Rewind to the moment Duke left that dice game. No security, no crew, no driver. Just Duke, alone, walking through a dimly lit Houston parking lot after hours in a room packed with millions in cash and ice. Sounds wrong, because it is. Minutes later, chaos. Duke is ambushed. But here's the twist, this wasn't your average hit. In most situations, the first things to go are the cash and jewelry. But Duke, he was found with every single piece still on him. The same chains and watches he'd been flexing just hours earlier at Boosie's concert, untouched. So, ask yourself what kind of robbery leaves behind 7 figures and diamonds.
Walking to his car, some dude tried to rob him. Some dudes tried to rob him. Some dudes that tried to rob me and walked off by himself. I had just met dude yesterday. They tried to rob me. Once I get up. Just met.
But here's the real jaw-dropper, that Louis Vuitton duffel bag. The one packed with Duke's unreleased one-of-one jewelry designs, vanished from the scene, only to mysteriously turn up inside Boosie's home. Houston PD confirmed that part. Now, whether Duke handed Boosie the bag for safekeeping during the dice game or whether it got there another way, no one's saying, but one fact solid, the bag made it back. Duke didn't, and Boosie's reaction, a shaky Instagram live from a private jet, claiming he barely knew Duke and that Duke just walked off. But hold up, didn't Boosie say Duke was supposed to make him a custom piece? Now he's acting like they were strangers. So let's get this straight, you invite a man to a private dice game, watch him flash over $1 million in jewelry, and then let him walk alone to his car in the dark. Yeah, that doesn't add up. It gets worse. Boosie's whole vibe on that live far from calm, far from confident. Pale, anxious, dodging the heat from the questions flying at him. And just when you thought the drama hit the ceiling, it didn't, single quotes T. The feds, already circling Boosie for unrelated legal trouble, pulled Duke's case out of the pile. They turned it into its own federal investigation. No more delays, no hiding behind other charges, just laser focus on exactly what happened that night. Step 1. Track the last phone signal. Duke's phone pinged for the final time at Boosie's recording studio. Unless that phone grew legs and walked there on its own, someone in that circle brought it. No attempt to wipe it, no damage, it just went dark, shut off manually. That's when the feds locked in. Next move, search Duke's rental car. Forensics came back with fingerprints. Guess who popped up? Boosie's nephew, Boosie's cousin. Same names, same circle. Then a witness stepped forward. They were outside, smoking near the building, and saw Duke walking toward his car, calm and normal until Boosie's nephew appeared. From the side, like he'd been waiting, the witness said, Duke seemed to sense something was off. He swung first, tried to push back. That's where things turned.
He was in a garage. He must have walked outside to the parking lot. He was in a garage. We heard the streets. But it's like they was far away in the parking lot. Must have went to his car or something. Dude was finna make a piece of it too. Damn.
But what happened next didn't look like any robbery. No one rushed to snatch chains. No one scrambled for bags. The $1 million jewelry was left sitting right there. In that Louis Vuitton bag. They kept it. This wasn't about money. This was about control. Thought the way they moved afterward. Like they didn't even care who was watching. That's not sloppy. That's bold. And guess who caught every bit of it? 50 Cent. He's been posting receipts, dropping subtle messages, connecting dots. Because in Houston, when outsiders pull up, there's always the same warning floating around. Make sure you check in. It's never written down, never in a contract, but everybody knows it's real. Artists, influencers, even pro athletes know the unspoken rule. If you're moving through Houston, you're expected to check in with J. Prince Jr. and the mob ties circle. No check-in. Then you're rolling the wrong kind of dice. But here's where it gets real. Uncomfortable. What happens when the same people you're supposed to check in with are the ones you end up needing protection from. Let's call it for what it is. J. Prince Jr. hosted that dice game. The same host, same energy, Same room Duke walked into. And let's not forget, it was also Jay Prince Jr. hosting when Takeoff lost his life just 2 weeks later. That's when this whole check-in culture stopped feeling like safety and started smelling like setup. If Jay Prince Jr. truly ran the city the way he claims, then why did 2 major names not make it out of his events alive? Even Whack 100 had to step in, calling it exactly what he thought it was, a scam setup. Said entertainers are being lured in, made to feel welcome, then surrounded during private dice games where the vibe can flip in seconds. And now, the industry's paying attention. Quietly, labels are pulling out of Houston events. Some artists are canceling trips entirely. The city's starting to feel toxic radioactive even. Meanwhile, 50 Cent refuses to play quiet. He's reposting clips, dropping cryptic captions, no names, but no disguises either. Some say he's crossing a line. Others say he's just the only one willing to say out loud what everyone else whispers, because at this point, it's not just about dice games. Anymore, it's about who's really calling the shots behind closed doors.
100 couldn't stay silent.
Entertainer, fights to me, act like he's covering for him, hanging out, everything. Let's go here, let's go there, let's go here, let's go there. He introduces the dice game. He got 3 motherfuckers, right, who rotate the dice. Now these dice is loaded. Tell me it's a Wolf, Big Caprice, and watch this, and Little Cam are the loaded dice rotators, right? He said, why? There was a situation that occurred that a certain jeweler crown and got past the dice on accident and was hitting on them for a couple hundred. They got irritated about that. I ain't gonna go too far into that story because, right, boom, the only way they could get their money back was money back. He said, but Lil Cam, Wolf, and Big Caprice are the 3 designated to say I'm up, I got the neck, and they pass the dice to each other, but they loaded, but they
Sources say Boosie is losing control. The feds aren't just watching, they're moving in. They've split Duke's case from Boosie's old gun charges and are now locked in on one specific night. The night everything went wrong. They're digging into everything: his houses, his money, even his son's online activity. But the craziest part? The whispers might be coming from inside his own crew. Word is, Boosie's own girlfriend told someone he ran back inside that night looking scared, like he was trying to hide something. Still, he's out here acting calm, repeating the same story like he's reading from a script. People aren't buying it anymore. And now everyone's asking, if Boosie goes down, who's going with him? Because Boosie never moves alone. His nephew's name is being mentioned, his cousins too, and now he's connected to Jay Prince Jr., who's already under heavy heat after the Takeoff situation. The walls are closing in, and every lead points back to that dice table. And just when you think it can't get messy, it does. Here comes Finesse 2 times. The same rapper Mob Ties used to proudly support is now keeping his distance. He used to shout out Jay Prince Jr. in almost every interview. Now, you barely hear the name. That's not silence. That's distance. And it all allegedly started with a woman, Finesse's baby mama. The rumor is, she and her mother set him up, called the cops, and got him locked up for a probation violation. After that, Finesse cut off Mob Ties completely. No more shows together. No more backstage hangs, just silence and shade. But here's the twist. Jay Prince Sr. stepped in. He made quiet calls behind the scenes, and within 2 weeks, Finesse was free. Instead of laying low or showing thanks, Finesse went straight back to the same woman who allegedly got him locked up. That's when SR had enough and blasted it on Twitter. I told the homie to stay the F away from that woman if he cares about his life. But he didn't want to listen even after I stepped in to get him out. Y'all better stop thinking these women are always out here with good intentions.
Jeweler. I gotta do my research to see what jeweler might have been down there shooting dice. Nevertheless, to all the entertainers, Dukes of Hazzard was one of my favorite shows. I don't know if you're watching. Thinking about days of Duke. One might go with it, may not go with it, but I don't know. The math is math, and let it math. But entertainers, beware. Oh, Jay Prince Jr., when he talked about let's go do some dice, because the loaded dice crew is free. And Wolf, Big Caprice, Lil came in there because I believe somehow, some way, caught up in the dice situation, rest Takeoff. I don't know what's going on. But I do know this. Jay Prince Jr. got a whole thing when y'all come into town. Hold on, bro. Didn't they say Fifth Ward earlier that day?
Yep, that's a fact. That word been out, Wet. That word been out. We been out that demo.
And then, so they get hit all day. But in the game, people like that into dice. That's what this nigga Jay Prince Jr., boy, these niggas got all kinds of shit going on now. They say, he said the jeweler nigga got past the dice. He didn't even know the motherfuckers was loaded. He just think he hit. These niggas is mad. Motherfuckers, they like, nigga, how you pass this nigga the loaded dice?
And just when everyone thought the drama was calming down, it exploded again. Word on the streets is that Jay Prince Jr. might have been involved with Finesse's Gerland. Some even say she could be pregnant by him. Is it confirmed? No, but the fact that people believe it, and Finesse hasn't denied it, says a lot. Some fans shrugged it off as gossip, but others see a pattern. Jay Prince Jr. allegedly clashing with Takeoff's family. Quiet tension with Boosie. Now Finesse, 2 times, is clearly pulling away and dealing with his own drama in public. One by one, the bridges around mob ties are burning. Here's the dangerous part: when your whole brand is built on loyalty, control, and silence, it only takes one person to break the code. One artist, one witness, one feed-up friend. Suddenly, the untouchable empire starts to crack. The question now: who's going to break first? Will Boosie talk to protect himself? Will Finesse reveal secrets he's been keeping? Or will 50 Cent keep the pressure on until Jay Prince Jr. does the unthinkable, breaks the code to save his own name? Make no mistake, the collapse has already started. The whispers have turned into knocks on doors, and behind those doors, federal agents are watching everything going through Boosie's estate portfolio, from his Baton Rouge mansion to his Georgia land. Every dollar, every move, is being tracked. This is no longer just an investigation, it's full-blown surveillance. And don't get it wrong, this isn't only about Boosie. Jay Prince Jr.'s name is tangled in it, too. The music industry is moving. Fast artists are stepping back. Labels are pulling deals. The mob ties image, it's fading. This isn't regular rap beef, it's starting to look like a complete unraveling. And here's the wildest part: rumors say there's footage, surveillance video, phone recordings, something that could show what really happened to Duke that night. If that clip ever leaks to the public, or lands with TMZ or the feds, that's game over. That's checkmate. No one's walking away clean. Thanks for watching.